Hey, what's up? Welcome back to another edition of the Mandatory Live. Remember, if you like the content, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, follow us on our social media channels. We're at the Mandatory TKO, and we're also on the audio side. So you can find us there as well. If you got a couple of minutes, leave a rate and review because that always helps the channel grow as well. And for everyone that's already done that, thank you so much for rocking with the show. All right, we got to get to the best fight of the
Should I
night
get
on
a
this
Rolly
card.
Romero heavy bag video to compare?
You
Chat?
should do it. You
Should I
should
do
do it.
that? All right. Keep
All
talking.
right. So we got to get to the biggest and best fight of the night on this card. And, I'm not actually mad at the odds. If I'm taking a look at the line, Teofimo Lopez is a minus 260 and Arnold Barboza Jr. is a plus 194. Brian, I know you're laughing right now, but would you say that the odds for this are the line? Would you kind of agree with it? Or do you feel like Arnold's being a little bit slept on?
Okay. So I'm betting on Arnold Barboza to upset Teofimo Lopez
And how are you doing this and why? Like by decision, I'm guessing.
by decision. Yes, a plus 280. Not a big bet, but I think this is the upset that could happen this weekend more than any of the others. Teofimo Lopez, we talked about this. He has 5 fights in this weight class. Pedro Campa, he did what he had to do. Sandor Martin, questionable decision. You had, and by the way, Rolly Romero is 29.
Okay, so he got sneakily old really quick.
Low key, yeah. I feel like he was just 24. This is
Yeah.
crazy. He also acts very young. He will be 30 at some
Okay.
point this year. It doesn't say what his birthday is, but it says he was born in 1995.
Okay.
Wow. Rolly's gonna be 30.
I didn't know. I thought he was like a little bit younger, but okay.
Jeez. All right. Anyway,
Thanks, guys. Jesus and TJ also commented that Moise is 30 and Rolling 29.
okay. Arnold Barboza. Here's the thing. Teofimo Lopez. So he has Sandor Martin after the Pedro Campa fight. Sandor Martin, he struggled. He got knocked down. Some people think he lost that fight. I had him winning by a point, but I think if he lost that fight, I'd be like, yeah, okay. I don't think that's unfair. After that, he fought. That was Josh Taylor. That was his most impressive performance. Have we kind of overstated that since? Perhaps because Josh Taylor was honestly one of the weaker undisputed champions we've ever had, and also somebody who I'm just letting it fly today, and also somebody who has he was over a year out of the ring. Going into that, I was like, man, I don't know about Teofimo Lopez. He didn't look great in the Josh Taylor fight. I mean, in the Sandor Martin fight, and Josh Taylor, looked all right last time we saw him. Although no, not last time we saw him, because before that was Jack Catterall, and he should have lost that fight. That was the other thing. Like, Jack Catterall should have been the undisputed champion. We were supposed to get that rematch forever. And then since then, he beat Jermaine Ortiz. Teofimo Lopez did. That was one of the worst fights of the year. That was when Rolly Romero was calling him Takeover Thursday in an interview that we had with him. And Teofimo Lopez then beat Steve Claggett, who, with all due respect to the Canadian superhero, probably shouldn't have been in that position to begin with. So there's one stoppage win, and it was against Pedro Campa in this weight class. There are 5 wins, 4 decisions, 2 debatable decisions. And other than Josh Taylor, they were all underwhelming Teofimo Lopez performances. So I'm taking that to the Arnold Barboza fight. And what does Arnold Barboza do really well? He moves around the ring. He counterpunches. He's fast, lateral quickness, lateral speed, lateral movement. He's smart. He's patient, and he can throw punches and bunches. Jermaine Ortiz and Sandor Martin don't do all of those things. And that's why, while they made Teofimo Lopez struggle, they just did it with their movement and occasional counterpunching. Arnold Barboza is going to take more chances. So you may get hit a little bit more, but Arnold Barboza, he has the formula to actually beat a Teofimo Lopez, I think. And Arnold Barboza, I know he's going to be super focused. Teofimo Lopez, I mean, he should be. I would think he is. He looks like he's going to be, but I mean, I think Arnold Barboza could absolutely win this fight. I just think it has to be by decision, and I do worry about him potentially getting robbed if that's the case.
So I think there's 3 ways this fight could go, which is kind of crazy. Number one, we see one of the best performances that Teofimo Lopez has had since Josh Taylor, because I do think he looks ready. If you look at Teo's body, he is focused, and he's also trying to sell the fight. This is probably arguably the biggest card he's ever been on, which is kind of crazy because he headlines and he's not even the headliner for this, right? This is also the most important fight, I think, for Teofimo Lopez in the last 3 years.
I agree.
Because
That's a great point.
for Josh Taylor, remember he was dealing with a lot of injuries, but at the same time, one of the weaker undisputed champions. I agree. Now, either Teofimo Lopez has one of the best performances of his career. Arnold Barboza shocks the world, beats Teofimo by decision, because as Bryan mentioned, he's a very technical boxer. He's very skilled. He's going to work the jab. He's going to counterpunch. He's going to move around the ring well. And if there are adjustments he's going to make, Arnold Barboza will make those adjustments in the fight. Right? He's trained by his dad, and you could see how laser focused they are for this fight. Arnold wants it bad, and he hates him. Like these two, like Teo plays and he jokes a lot, but I don't think Arnold really rocks with him at all. And there was also, the beef between the dads, right? Teofimo Lopez, the seniors were getting into this like years ago when this fight was supposed to happen, when they were both at top rank. So there's that. And the third thing that could potentially happen is that Arnold Barboza gets robbed because he's fighting Teofimo Lopez. Those are the three things that can happen in this fight. Now, depending on what Teofimo Lopez we get, because Teofimo Lopez also good counterpuncher, has a good jab, and he has the power. I think Teofimo Lopez is going to come focused into this fight, but I think Arnold Barboza Jr. is going to be able to be the tactician that he is, land on him, move around the ring, and he's going to get those points. However, I feel like Arnold is possibly going to get robbed. He didn't get robbed against Jack Catterall in Jack Catterall's backyard.
He almost did.
Right. He almost did, but he didn't. And that's important because Jack Catterall is that guy where he's from. And he didn't get robbed in his back, like in Jack Catterall's backyard. I think that says a lot. Like if that's not going to give you some type of motivation or momentum, I don't know what will. Like that's got to give Arnold Barboza Jr. confidence for this fight. I just feel like because it's in New York and because it's Teofimo Lopez, that Arnold is going to have to fight perfect in this fight. And I think he can, but I still think boxing will get in the way. So I will place money on Arnold Barboza Jr. to win by decision because I don't think he has the power to knock out Teofimo Lopez. Like he's going to get the points. He's going to move around the ring well. He's going to land. He throws punches and bunches like Bryan says. And so I think on the cards, he'll be up. On my cards, he definitely will. Because also, I feel like sometimes Teo doesn't throw enough sometimes.
Agree.
And so that's going to be kind of the difference. And Arnold has the speed. I think Arnold Barboza Jr. will win by decision. But I think the cards will say Teofimo Lopez won. That's how I think this fight is going to go. And if you don't like that breakdown, I don't know what to tell you. There's going to be a robbery in this fight. It's going to be this fight. And this is probably going to be the most entertaining fight. And here's the thing. I think Teo has to get started early. Like we see Teo sometimes kind of like wait for, the right placement and the right shots. But against a guy like Barboza, who's going to get started early, he's going to try to establish the jab early. Teo has to get started early and he has to throw more. And sometimes we don't see that from Teo. He also takes off rounds. Like you can't take off a round against Arnold Barboza Jr. that's going into the ring trying to beat your ass in every round. So mentality-wise, Teo seems focused. And I think if he was to put on the best performance of his career, I wouldn't be surprised. But I think it's more likely because we've seen the rise of Arnold Barboza Jr., who's also undefeated, by the way. We've seen the rise of him, and also he has all the confidence. I think Barboza gets it done, but I'm praying to God he does not get robbed. And Jesus says right here, Arnold Jose may get robbed. And those are the two guys I'm going for in both of these fights.
The only thing I would say is like with Teofimo Lopez, because people say like the George Kambosos fight was kind of a one-off thing, and it's like he's done that multiple times now. Like the Sandor Martin fight is still, it's the same. It's not the same stylistically, but it's the same kind of letdown. Or the Jermaine Ortiz fight, if Jermaine Ortiz threw more at all,
how would that have looked? Like, how would that have gone? Also, like, I hate to say it, and listen, I'm not trying to hate on, the Canadian guy, Steve Claggett. I would not do that. But he should have dropped Steve Claggett, and he should have.
That's the other thing.
You know what I mean?
He didn't stop Steve Claggett. And look, Steve Claggett's a tough dude. He only got stopped.
But skill wise, Teo's so talented, dude.
I rewatched the fight too, and Steve Claggett, like he was getting popped by a lot of uppercuts. He was still coming forward, so credit to him. But Teofimo Lopez was very much treating that like a sparring session. You know, which I mean, look, that's prerogative, whatever.
Jesus, Turkish. Doesn't even call him Turkish. Really wants Haney and Ryan, and we've seen Turk card robberies. Yeah, I forget like what
Oh,
fight it was.
the him?
Yo,
Never.
I forget what card it was. I think it was Dmitry Bivol and Better Biev, and he was like, "You're down on the cards." Like, why is that happening?
If y'all,
Like,
y'all
what?
if y'all thought boxing was corrupt before this dude came into the fold, just wait until TKO gets off the ground.
Yeah,
Just
I know.
wait.
And then the WBA is gonna be like, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, yeah.
Because like the WBA is
Okay,
so corrupt, man.
we got a gold champion, a regular champion, and a super champion. The WBC has a diamond champion. You know
I
what I
wonder if
mean?
I'm gonna like TKO. I'm not gonna lie. I wonder if I'm gonna like it.
I'm probably not. Based on who's running it,
We'll see.
I'm probably not.
Let
But
us see. Now,
it is
let
what
us
it
know,
is.
guys, who you have for this fight as well.
They feel
Teofimo
very
Lopez.
they feel very evil empire-ish. And the last thing I'll say about this fight is like Arnold Barboza, people will throw the Sean McComb performance at him, and I think he probably should have lost that fight. But he has rebounded with wins over Jose Ramirez and Jack Catterall, so I think he's compensated for that. And Sean McComb should get back in the ring. He hasn't fought since then, and it's been a year plus at this point. So like I don't know. I don't know what goes into the inactivity with some of these dudes, but I feel like you'd want to build off a performance after that. So that's that card. We have other we have other stuff to get to. So let's do that because we have also fights, not just in this regard.
Wait, before you do that,
Yeah.
drop your comments because I think this fight is extremely interesting.
Yeah.
Let us know if you're going to rock with Teofimo Lopez or Arnold Barboza Jr. and how you see the fight going. We will read your comments. If you don't get to them on this show and you're watching this later, well, we see them. So don't worry. Sometimes we don't comment back all the time, but we read all your comments, guys.